The letter that never sent. The Montana sky stretched endlessly above Tom Hargrove's farm, a canvas of stars untouched by city lights. At 62, Tom was a man carved from the land, calloused hands, weathered face, and a heart heavy with loss. 12 years ago, his daughter Lily, just 16, died in a car accident on the winding road to Billings. A deer had darted across Highway 87, and Lily, driving home from a school dance, swerved too late. The pickup rolled, and she was gone before the paramedics arrived. Tom buried her under the big cottonwood tree at Willow Creek Cemetery, her favorite spot where they used to picnic when she was a girl. Every year on the anniversary of her death, September 12th, Tom wrote her a letter, words he never spoke in life, sealed in a wooden box under her bed, a ritual to keep her close. Tom's farm, a sprawling 200 acres of wheat and cattle, was quiet now. His wife, Mary, had passed from cancer when Lily was 10, leaving him to raise their daughter alone. After Lily's death, the house felt like a museum of memories. Her room untouched, her flannel shirt still hanging in the closet, her sketchbooks stacked on the desk. Tom lived alone, his only company the creak of the porch swing and the howl of the wind across the plains. On September 12, 2025, the 12th anniversary of Lily's death, Tom sat at the kitchen table, a single bulb casting shadows over his lined face. He held a pen, writing his annual letter to Lily. "I miss you, kiddo. The harvest was good this year, but it don't mean much without you here to tease me about my old tractor. I keep wondering what you'd be now. 28, maybe an artist in some big city? I'm sorry I didn't say I loved you more." He folded the letter, trudged to Lily's room, and slid it into the box with the others, the wood worn smooth from years of handling. That night, Tom woke at 2:47 a.m. to a faint rustling at the front door. The wind, he thought, but the air was still. He shuffled to the porch, his boots heavy on the creaking boards, and found a folded piece of paper slipped under the door. His heart stopped when he saw the handwriting, Lily's loopy scrawl, unmistakable from her old sketchbooks. The note read, "Dad, I read your letters. I'm close, but I need your help. Follow the map. Hurry." Tucked inside was a rough sketch of a map leading to an abandoned barn in the Crazy Mountains, a place Tom knew from childhood stories about a cursed homestead. Tom's hand shook as he read the note again. It was impossible. Lily was gone, her body broken in the wreck, her casket lowered into the earth. He'd kissed her cold forehead at the viewing. Yet the paper smelled faintly of her lavender perfume, a scent that lingered in her room. He stumbled back inside, clutching the letter, his mind racing. Was it a prank? A hallucination? Grief had played tricks on him before, but this felt real. Too real. By dawn, Tom was in his old Ford pickup, the map on the passenger seat. He hadn't called anyone, not his estranged brother, Jack, a former sheriff who moved to Bozeman after their falling out over Lily's funeral, nor his neighbor Ellie, who checked on him weekly. This was his burden, his hope. The Crazy Mountains loomed ahead, their jagged peaks cutting the horizon like teeth. The barn, a sagging relic from the 1800s, sat in a forgotten valley, its wood grayed by time. Tom parked a quarter-mile away, the map guiding him through a thicket of pines. The barn's doors hung crooked, creaking in the breeze. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the scent of damp earth. Tom's flashlight swept over rusted tools and rotting hay bales, landing on strange symbols carved into the walls, spirals, crosses, and jagged lines that made his skin crawl. In the center of the barn stood a wooden chest, its lid etched with the same symbols, radiating an unnatural cold. Tom's breath caught as he saw another note pinned to the chest, again in Lily's handwriting. "Open it, Dad. I'm inside." Tom's knees buckled. He wanted to run, to call it madness, but the memory of Lily's voice, her laughter, her stubborn streak, kept him rooted. He pried at the chest with the crowbar from his truck, the wood splintering under his strength. The lid gave way, revealing not a body, but a shimmering void, like a pool of liquid starlight. A faint whisper, Lily's voice echoed from within. "Dad, please, pull me out." Tom staggered back, his heart pounding. This wasn't right. He needed help, someone to ground him in reality. He drove to Bozeman, to Jack's small apartment, and pounded on the door. Jack, who was now 58, with gray hair and a limp from an injury, opened the door, his face hardening at the sight of Tom.
Jack read the note, his jaw tightening. "You're grieving, Tom. This ain't real." "Then come with me," Tom pleaded. "See for yourself. If I'm wrong, I'll let it go." Jack sighed, grabbing his coat. "Fine, but if this is some breakdown, you're checking into a hospital." They reached the barn as dusk fell, the mountains casting long shadows. Jack's skepticism faded when he saw the symbols, his sheriff's instincts kicking in. These look old, maybe native or something else. I heard stories growing up. Folks said this valley was cursed, a place where the veil between worlds is thin. "Veil?" Tom asked, his voice shaky. "Old legend," Jack said. In the 1870s, settlers here messed with rituals they didn't understand, trying to contact the dead. Something went wrong, opened a rift. People disappeared, or came back wrong. The barn was built to seal it. Tom's stomach churned as he led Jack to the chest. The void inside pulsed now, brighter, and Lily's voice was clearer. "Dad, I'm here. It's cold, but I'm holding on." Jack froze. That's her voice. How the hell? "I don't know," Tom said, "but she's asking for help. I have to try." Jack grabbed his arm. If that's a rift, opening it could let out more than Lily. The story said bad things came through. Spirits with hate in their hearts? "I don't care," Tom snapped. "She's my daughter." They worked together, using ropes and a pulley from Tom's truck to widen the chest's opening. The void hummed, vibrating the air, and Tom felt a pull, like gravity tugging at his soul. He reached into the light, his hand vanishing into the cold, and felt fingers, small, familiar, like Lily's when she was a child. He pulled, grunting with effort, and a shape emerged. Lily. Not the 16-year-old he'd lost, but a woman of 28, her face sharper, her eyes deeper, dressed in a strange, shimmering fabric. She collapsed into his arms, warm but weightless, her breath shallow. "Lily," Tom whispered, tears streaming down his face. "Dad, I made it," she said, her voice soft but real. Jack stood stunned, his flashlight trembling. "This ain't possible." Lily's eyes flickered to the chest, where the void still pulsed. "Close it," she urged. "Now! Others are trying to come through." Tom and Jack slammed the lid shut, the hum fading, but not before a cold wind rushed out carrying whispers of anger and pain. The barn fell silent, the air heavy with what they'd done. Back at the farm, they laid Lily on her old bed, her sketchbook still open to drawings of the mountains. She was real, tangible, but different. Her movement slow, like she was learning to exist again. Over coffee, she explained, her voice halting. "After the accident, I didn't go anywhere. I was in a place between, like a dream that never ended. Your letters, Dad, they were like a rope, pulling me back. I saw the barn in my dreams, the chest. It's a door, but not just for me. Others are trapped there. Some good, some not." Jack, pacing, asked, "What do you mean, others?" "Spirits," Lily said. "People who died too soon, like me. But some are angry, twisted. They want to come back for revenge, to hurt. I fought to keep them back, but the rift is weak. It might open again." Tom gripped her hand, his heart torn between joy and fear. "You're here now. That's what matters." Lily shook her head. I don't know how long I can stay. This body, it's not permanent. I feel it fading. Jack, ever practical, called his old deputy friend Maria, who knew about local legends. She arrived the next morning, her face grim as she examined Lily. "I've heard of this," Maria said. "The rift's been quiet since the 1900s, but it's tied to blood. Your family's tied to this land, Tom. Your great-grandfather was one of those settlers." Lily's return might have stirred it. "What do we do?" Tom asked. "Seal it," Maria said. "There's a ritual, but it needs something personal, something tying Lily to this world." "The letters," Lily said suddenly. "They brought me back. They can close the door." That night, under a blood-red moon, they returned to the barn. Maria brought sage and salt, chanting words from an old Crow tribe ritual she'd learned from her grandmother. Tom clutched the box of letters, his heart breaking at the thought of losing them. Lily stood beside him, her form flickering like a candle flame. "It's okay, Dad," she said. "You don't need the letters anymore. You have me, even if it's just for now." They burned the letters in the chest, the flames consuming the paper as the void shrank, the whisper silenced. Lily's form grew fainter, her smile sad but peaceful. "I love you, Dad. I'll see you again, not through a rift, but when it's time." She vanished as the last letter burned, the chest slamming shut with a final thud. Tom fell to his knees, sobbing, but a strange calm settled over him. Lily was gone, but not lost. The rift was sealed, the barn silent. Back home, Tom and Jack sat on the porch, the stars bright above. "She came back to say goodbye, and to save us from whatever else was in there," Jack said softly. Tom nodded, his eyes on the horizon. "She's still out there, somewhere, and I'll see her again." The farm felt different now, still quiet but not empty. Tom kept Lily's room as it was, but he started living again, planting new wheat, fixing the tractor. He wrote no more letters, but every night he looked at the stars and whispered, "See you soon, kiddo."